Hey everyone, it's Nikolai. So today I'm going to try something a little bit different for me. At least this is the first time I'm trying it. I'm going to give myself a challenge. I follow on Instagram a user who goes by the handle of underscore hadi.ps. And he does terrific work in both Photoshop and Illustrator. The only problem I have with his work is that he posts reels that go by at like warp speed. They're like mile a minute, and so it's very tough to process what he's actually doing. I can sort of pick it out as he's going along, but trying to remember all the steps and then process it and then recreate it, is a little challenging. So I thought it might be fun to take that on as a challenge here and give myself a time limit to try to recreate something I saw on his channel. So we're going to jump in a second. I will show you the original reel. I'll link to it down in the description, and I'll give myself 15 minutes to see if I can recreate it. Maybe not exactly, but hopefully pretty close. All right, so let's give this a whirl. Going here, I'm going to show you the original reel that I saw, so that you can see what I'm going for here. So I'm going to hit the play button on this, and you can see he's using the pencil tool, and he's using Shapebuilder there very well, creating a gradient and adjusting those gradients individually, creating the rocket ship using starting with an oval. Very smart. More Shapebuilder stuff going on here. Looks like he's got two gradients going on right now. He's got the yellow kind of gold and white gradient, and then he's got he's got a couple of blue gradients. He's got a dark blue and a light blue. Looks like two gradients. Using the star tool there to make those little star shapes and rounding the corners. And here he's creating a planet. Using an effect. Very cool to create those wavy lines in the planet and then changing the colors on different copies. So it's pretty nice doing some final touch-up work there. But yeah, really nice little drawing and 1 minute. And I'm going to try to see if I can replicate that in about 15. So I'm going to just close that window in front. I've got Illustrator here behind it. So let's see. Oh yeah, just to be upfront, I do have a screenshot of the final image on a monitor here that I'm watching. So I will be taking a look at that to get reference from, and I'm going to try really hard not to make it look exactly like it. I do have a tendency to want, if I'm tracing or trying to recreate somebody else's art, I do have a tendency to try to be very exact about it. But I'm going to let go of that and try to just make it as close as I can in the 15 minutes that I have. Alright, so before I get started, I'm going to go ahead and get my phone here and set a timer. I got 15 minutes, and we're starting. Alright, so starting with the pen tool, here we go. I'm going to make this big sort of blobby shape here, and that curves under this way, and around like that. And I haven't used the pen tool a whole lot, and it's got some really great things about it. Like you can start a new part of the line and extend it, and then it'll just reconnect it. As long as you don't connect on the actual anchor points, the pencil tool will redraw the line just like I'm doing here. So I'm making this a nice closed shape, and I'm going to call that good. I actually don't really like this corner right here. It's too sharp. There we go. All right, there's that shape. Inside, there's another shape, a little more curvy. And I'm going to go around like this. Again, just drawing. And I am using a mouse, by the way. In this day and age, it's kind of crazy that I'm using a mouse. Looks like I want to give these pens a stroke, just so I can see what's going on with them. And I might readjust this a little bit. I think I'm gonna keep working on this and make it go a little bit closer, and maybe loop down here like so. That's a little bit more like what I want. And then there's one more shape that's gonna go like this, and this one's gonna kind of overlap. So I think it's going to be kind of a nice effect. He created sort of a cut paper effect by using Shapebuilder and actually overlapping these shapes. So let's see if I can clean that line up just a little bit. That looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to call that good. Now I'm going to just go ahead and select these and recolor them by filling in with a gradient. And I'll just click on gradient and make that the fill, not the stroke. I'm going to get rid of the stroke. Okay, and so we've got a gradient here. We want to make this a radial gradient. And then I'm going to go ahead and double click on the gradient slider and change this to a, let's say a dark blue to white to start with. That's going to be our sort of middle gradient. I'm going to go ahead and reset these though individually, so grab that one. Oh, you know what I should do? I should Shapebuilderize these first before I start messing with the gradients. So Shapebuilder Tool, Shift M on the keyboard, or we can just click on that, and I'll go ahead and click there and drag right there to get that nice little overlap effect. And then I want to make this into a shape, and then I want to make this into its own shape. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this dark blue and use that for the inside shape. Shapebuilder is really cool in that you can kind of use it the same as the live paint bucket as well. If you're not familiar with the live paint bucket, it's a really very useful tool. So I'm going to select this outer one, double click on my gradient, and change the color to a lighter blue. I think that's pretty good, pretty cyan looking there. And then this middle one I think is okay as is. I might want to adjust those gradients. I think there's also a gradient in the center one as well. So let's go ahead and make that into a gradient. And I'm going to double click that and make it really dark blue. And keep that. Let's adjust that gradient by grabbing the gradient tool over here and clicking and dragging. Oh, I've got two selected, so that's not going to work for me. Let's grab that middle one and gradient tool. I'm going to click and drag like this. Just a little bit of that white in there. The others I'm going to kind of leave how they are for now. So great, we've got those guys going, and I'm going to go ahead and make this long skinny oval down here for the rocket. Zoom in. And go ahead and grab this top one with my direct selection tool. Bring this to almost a point. I'm holding down Shift to constrain these handles so that they don't wobble all over the place. I'm going to make this a little bit longer, like so. That's good. And I'm also going to fill that with a solid color. Well, I don't need to worry about that just yet. Let's go ahead and make the tail end of this look the way we want it to. So I'm going to grab that. And then grab that one, hold down Option and Shift, make a copy. And we want to have that down right near the bottom so things overlap nicely. Hit Command Y to check my work here. There we go. And I'm going to grab those and just make sure that they're centered. Looks like they're centered. Okay. And hit Command Y again. Command or Control if you're on a PC, and select all of these. Again, grab my Shapebuilder tool by hitting Shift M on the keyboard, and I'm going to hold down Option or Alt and just drag right through these areas that I don't want, and yeah, just drag right through those, and it just deletes those areas because the Shapebuilder tool is awesome. All right, I'm going to leave it. Let's make it solid color just for fun, because I have to keep adding a couple more details here. Let's see how much time I have. How am I doing? About 8.5 minutes. Okay, not bad, not bad. All right, pen tool, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can remember how these fins work. Okay, we draw a line like this, and yeah, I'm just going to draw corners. I do this. One that does this. Pull that down, drag that over like so, and hit P to stop using that pen tool. Go ahead and hit V to get my, A to get my direct select tool, and grab the little corner widget here to make that a nice corner. This looks a little small to me for such a big rocket, so I'm going to grab that, drag it out, make it a little bit bigger, a little wider that way too. Okay, so that's our little fin. Now I'm going to go double click on my reflect tool, and it's reflecting on the vertical axis, which is what I want. I'm going to hit copy and then grab that copy and just drag it over. There are more precise ways to do this for sure, but because I'm under the gun here, I'm going to just eyeball this, and now I'm going to create a new gradient. So what I'll do is just double click my gradient panel. Sorry, click once. Fill it with this gradient that I've already done. Make that a linear gradient and then switch the color out. So double click here, and it's not being responsive. There we go. And I'm going to have to use this sort of orangey gold color to fill that in. Looks good. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'll hit I to get my eyedropper tool and do that. All right, now I may want to adjust these gradients. I think I might want to go bottom to top-ish. So I'm going to click my gradient tool over here and click and drag like so. Actually, let me go the other way. Click and drag like so. There we go. That's what I want. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one over here. This one actually already is pretty close to what I want, so I'm going to leave it. And I just hit Shift Command and the bracket key next to the P to send those guys to the back. So it's time to make a portal, and let's line that up with center here. I hate when you accidentally click. Sometimes I accidentally click and I don't mean to. Okay, holding down Shift and Option to draw a circle from the center point outward, and I'm going to draw the outside ring, and then hit Command C, and then Command F to paste another copy in front. And that one, I'm going to grab the Scale tool, hold down Shift, click and drag to make a smaller copy. It's kind of hard to see because they both have the same coloration, but if I click over here, I'm going to zoom in even more. Click over here, and I'm going to use Shapebuilder once again to make these two outer shapes into one shape. And I'll leave that yellow, and then I'll go over here and I'm going to make the inner shape. I'll make the inner shape blue. And what I'll probably do is actually eyedropper that and change it to the gradient. Make that gradient a linear gradient. But I want the exterior, this ring right here, I want that to be the yellow gradient. So again, hit I for eyedropper, pick up that yellow one. There we go. Rocket is just about done. I'm going to change the body of the rocket ship to white and give it no stroke. It's going to be on a dark colored background, so it doesn't need a stroke. And nope, I actually just took the stroke away, took the fill away as well. So let's fix that. It needs to be white. There we go. Okay, I'm going to select all these by dragging across there. Hit Command G to group them. I'm going to zoom out. Just drag on the corner of this to scale it down. And hopefully get pretty close to where I want it in terms of size. That's about right, maybe a little bigger. Alrighty, I'm going to draw the tail exhaust now, starting with a rectangle. I think I need to zoom in a little bit more. Command plus on that to zoom in. And I'm going to draw this little rectangle right here. And I've grabbed these outer corner points and use the arrow keys to do a 1, 2, 3. Arrow keys on the keyboard, 1, 2, 3, left and right. And go ahead and draw some ellipses here. I think I'm going to go with actual circles and just keep drawing Shift while I do this. And again, this is another sort of fantastic use of the Shapebuilder. And I really like how on the original art, this little bit right here is he did a really nice job of using a bunch of circles and ellipses to create this really sort of fun blast off effect. So I'm sort of going to enjoy that, and I will nudge this little circle down so it overlaps everything, because when you're shape buildering things, I like using shapebuilder as a verb. When you're doing that, basically you want to have everything that is going to be part of the shapebuilder group overlap. I did not select everything because I'm silly and forgetful. So now I'm going to go and grab all these guys, deselect that, select all the circles here. And now, you know, I'm actually not going to shape builder this. I'm going to use Pathfinder instead. And of course my Pathfinder's not here, so I go to Window and down to Pathfinder. When you have a lot of shapes like this, it's actually faster just to use the Unite option of Pathfinder. It does the same thing. There we go, all set with a rocket. Okie doke. Zoom out. Let's drag Pathfinder in here in case I need it again. Okay, I think I need to make stars or planets now. Let's see how much time I have. Looks like I got, just over a minute and a half. Okay, so it looks like I'm probably not going to make it to the end of this, but I will get started. And then what I will do is, so let me make my star. I'm just going to hold down Shift here and fill that with the gold. And zoom in and go ahead and make those corners round by grabbing it with the direct selection tool, and then just grabbing this little corner widget and dragging that around to make that make those corners nice and soft and cute. Okay, so I'm still going. I'm going to grab that guy, make him smaller, and I'm going to double click with my scale tool and just double check that I have scale corners and scale strokes and effects turned on. Okay, I do. All right, so let's make a few more of these guys, and we'll have to play with them individually to adjust size of all of them. But for now, I'm just making a bunch by clicking, holding down Option, and dragging. I'm not sure how many I'm going to need, so I'm just grabbing a bunch, and there we go. We'll make some bigger. I'll make this one right here larger. And this one right here a lot smaller. Make some of them really, really tiny, just for fun, and medium size. Okay, I'm kind of looking at the original image again, just to get some reference. And I have a lot of stars here. That's okay. And we'll put one more big one. I think maybe that's actually enough. Okay, and there is the time. All right, so let's have a look really quickly. I got the stars done. I think the gradients are pretty solid. They probably need a little bit of extra tweaking. And I did not get the planets done at all, which I'm not real happy about. So this is a little more than I was able to handle, but I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep working on this. And what I'll do maybe is either cut away or just jump back in, or maybe I'll go ahead and show you. You can see my work, and I'll just continue working and speed the video up. Okay, so there it is. I think this is a pretty good approximation. Again, just quick and dirty. The shapes, especially, I'm not super happy with the initial shapes. They're just not as nice and smooth as the ones in the original. But I think pretty good. So the rest of this, getting the stars and the planets and the moon done, that was in about an additional 8 minutes. So I was fairly close to being able to do this in 15 minutes. I'd like to definitely try this again. So I think that's going to be it. I'll see if I can get I'll put a side-by-side up here. I'll put the original up as well so that you can see them both. And yeah, that's it. That was really fun for me to try and do that. It was a little bit nerve-wracking. I'm looking at it and I'm still seeing all the little mistakes. But I would definitely like to try it again. So if you have some art or somebody has done a reel and you would like to see me try to do it, please post below in the comments, and I'll post a link to the original art there as well. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons, tell your friends, tell your family, and I guess that's it. So I will see you next time.